A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness is about a 13-year-old boy named Connor O'Malley. Connor and his mother live in England. His parents are separated, and his father now lives in the United States. Unfortunately, Connor's mother is terminally ill, going through the late stages of cancer. Nobody really talks about it to Connor, and he keeps telling himself she'll get better, although it seems harder to believe each day. Connor has recurring nightmares every night. Something is trying to drag his mother into a giant pit, and he has to hold onto her hand to keep her from falling. Additionally, at precisely 12:07 each night, Connor awakens and is visited by a giant tree monster outside his bedroom window.
I have come to get you, Connor O'Malley.
The monster tells Connor that he will return each night, and that he will tell Connor 3 stories, and that after he has told him these stories, Connor must tell him a 4th story, demanding that this 4th story must be the truth. It must be his truth.
Stories aren't real, though. They don't help anything.
Stories are wild creatures, Connor O'Malley. When you let them loose, who knows what havoc they may wreak. Oh, yes.
I can't bring myself to go any further because I couldn't stand to spoil this story for anyone who hasn't read it. This is a story that explores grief, loss, and the pain that these can bring to your life. How negatively people can be affected when confronted with the fear of losing someone, and the dangers that come from not dealing with these feelings. It is a story about finding your own emotional truth, understanding how you feel, not how you're supposed to feel. As you can see from the footage I used for this project, the book was made into a movie which was released in January earlier this year. I feel like this is one of those rare occurrences where the film is every bit as good as the book. Nothing feels left out or streamlined in any way. The author's original vision for this story was maintained mainly because the author of the book, Patrick Ness, actually came on board and wrote the screenplay for the film himself, which I think really helped cement the transition of this work between these two mediums. The film version even brings a few things to the story visually that wasn't possible in book form, especially when the monster tells Connor his 3 stories. The film takes a turn and goes from being live action to being beautifully animated, like a watercolor painting come to life. This book really resonated with me, and I think it would with anyone who has ever lost someone important to them. I'm not sure I would recommend this to people on the younger end of the young adult spectrum, as this story can be quite emotionally intense at times. The truth behind what it takes to come to terms with grief and loss can be brutal, and the book pulls absolutely no punches when presenting this, so have your box of tissues readily available, not if, but when you read A Monster Calls.